afternoon. Hello, everyone. As you've seen, my name is António, and I'm here not to speak about technology or make futuristic predictions, but to speak about the relevance of human choice, intuition, in our decisions. And to do that, I will use like a timeline. I will use my own professional career and the choices I've made along the way and my company made along the way to help you explain this concept. I'll have a little bot assisting me. Let me call it Yana. It's my daughter's name. So Yana will here along the way to help me on this presentation. But before we start, I'd like to leave you with an open question. If an AI agent had the same context and the same data than a human being, would it take the same decisions? Would it have the same opinions? So that's the question that I leave open in the air. So let's go. 96. Why is this important? I am an engineer, and the first time I heard about artificial intelligence was when I was at university back in '93, around that, neural networks. So that was a subject. But my wow moment was in '96. Why? Because of this guy. He was here in the morning, Garry Kasparov. And in '96 was when IBM was at the forefront of AI development. AI was starting to be used for example, weather forecasting. And a computer, Deep Blue, played chess against the number one at the time, Garry Kasparov. And in '96, on a classical chess match, it lost, but it won 2 games. So out of 6 games, Kasparov won 2, and Deep Blue won, Kasparov won 4, and Deep Blue won 2. So that was the first moment that the computer surpassed a human being in terms of the intelligence to play this game. So for me, it was a wow moment at the time. I remember investigating a lot about the subject. And then in '97, a year later, on the rematch, Deep Blue won against Kasparov, 3.5 against 2.5. I'm an old chess player, but Kasparov had an even bigger challenge a few years later, which is to play the guy on the right, which is me. So I played Kasparov. A few of us played against Kasparov, actually, 20 people against Kasparov, each on their own board. Kasparov started with the king's pawn opening. For those that play chess, they will understand. And someone lost. It was me, of course. Kasparov won. He was much better than me at playing chess. And by coincidence, he was here this morning again. So back to the timeline and decisions I have taken for my company. So '97 was right in the middle of internet access boom. So people were starting to connect to the internet at home. And my company that I had started in '95 was an internet service provider. So we had to connect people to the internet. If they were not connected to the internet, they could not download a piece of software to install internet access on their computer. So we had to make a CD with some software that we have distributed through shops, the retail network. But we had to make a decision. So what do we put on this CD? Do we use Netscape? Do we use Internet Explorer as the browser to install on computers? So we ran some analysis. We had some data, and the most important one was this one. So 75% of the market share in browsers was held by Netscape, and only 22% by Internet Explorer. So there were others like Opera and Mosaic. So what's the logical decision here? And I remember we were 5 partners, and not everyone agreed with the decision that we took, but the logical decision was obviously to use Netscape. So that's what Yana is telling us, is telling me. What did we do? We chose Internet Explorer. So data was against our choice. And why did we choose Internet Explorer? Because it's Microsoft, and we are in a Microsoft event, but at the time, '97, I didn't think I was going to be here. Anyway, because Microsoft had won the operating system war. They were not the first, but the Windows-based operating systems, Windows is largely the biggest. Microsoft won the productivity war. Office was not the first, but Microsoft got it. So we expected, my intuition told me, they were going to be number one. It was just a matter of time, and they were number one. So Internet Explorer was the right choice against information given us by data. Yes, it was not, but that's what we made. So let's move forward to 2020. So for an internet service provider with now data centers and providing managed services, we were not developing software. And again, what was data telling us? The global market in application development or integration was booming and was going to be even larger than it was in 2020. The Portuguese market was big relative to its size, and was also growing a lot, more than the IT market in general. So in this case, data was telling us we need to go somewhere in this market. If we are an IT player, we need to invest in applications, but not all the context was there. So we also had to know which capabilities our company had, which capabilities we could develop or acquire rapidly to tap into the market. And although we already had some expertise in portal development and SharePoint, we decided, because of our capabilities and where we saw the biggest opportunity, and that was not data-led, to enter the cloud-native development or app modernization, as well as enterprise applications. In the first case, simplifying, modernizing applications for them to run better on Azure and use microservices, etc. Or in the enterprise application space, we acquired a company that was a specialist in Microsoft Dynamics, and that was our quickest route to enter this market. So AI complemented, or data complemented our decisions, but we had to take other less obvious information into equation. Yes, so we follow this because we were already a recognized Microsoft partner in different areas. And we also believed that application capabilities on top of cloud and security and workplace offerings that we already had at the time was a big differentiator in the market. And being a managed service provider, we had this driver, this lens through which we provide all our services, and we believe this also to be a differentiator in the market. So now 2022, what happens in 2022? It was the ChatGPT moment. Generative AI came into the mainstream. So of course, we had to look into this. So there's a new wave of services or technologies, again, disrupting the market. How can we be useful to our customers by using AI? So data, again. The market was growing fast. Predictions were for it to be growing even faster. The funding in companies was booming as well. There was an interesting survey at the time. Most people, 47%, believed that AI would create more jobs than it would destroy, similar to what other technological evolutions have made in the past. So every time there was a new technology, we always created more jobs, despite fears, than we destroyed. People believe the same with AI. This is one piece of data I'm not sure about, to be fair, at this moment, but it was true in 2022. So what did we do? We launched, of course, a data and AI offering, and we started by looking internally and not externally. So, as the saying goes, to eat our own dog food. And we started in our service desk, so a workplace service provider. We've got lots of requests from our users. And at the time, our SLAs, service levels, were on the edge of not being met. We were spending, I remember, about 100 hours per month of human labor just to do one simple thing, looking at the request and classifying and delivering it to the right team. We were taking 20 minutes on average for each request for that. And that was, we were almost not delivering on our SLAs. So what did we do? We looked at all these challenges, time, resources, and data, and we built our own model using LLM, our own tool using LLM, redefined our workflow to significantly improve our own operation. And for the 15,000 tickets that we had since March 24, when we implemented this technology within, again, our own company, until January 25, until last month, 92% were automatically delivered to the right team, and 55% were automatically resolved using our knowledge base that is constantly fed with new information, and the model is always learning, comparing to what we did with other customers in similar events. So 55 are now resolved without any human intervention. So that's significant progress that has helped us reduce those jobs of the first level of service desk and move those people to more interesting tasks that are less repetitive. So seeing the human angle in here, AI can help us move people to more brain-oriented, decision-making-oriented tasks and not as repetitive, and we have done just that within our company. Same thing in the Security Operations Center. In this case, we were dealing with potential security incidents. And this was just after the pandemic, when security incidents started to rise. And I remember that for a couple of months, we had about 300,000 events from assets of our customers that could be potentially security incidents. So 300,000 events, 150,000 per month, being managed by a human was unfeasible. So we had to implement, again, something similar. And we now have, and this is data from the last 2 months, December through January, 2 months to compare with the 300,000, 6 times the same number of events, but we only bring it to a human being 1% of the time. So 1.8 million events turn into 25,000 tickets, if you want, that a human needs to analyze, and even those 1% of tickets, 25,000 tickets, are enriched by data from the customer, from the solution, from similar events. So when a human being has to intervene in a potential security incident, it has a lot more information than it had before. So in this case, we are moving our people to more important tasks with more information because AI is complementing what we do. So we've talked about 2 of our internal success cases. We've got others moving our RPA, robotic process automation, into an intelligent process automation. So we gave a simple task just to prove the concept. Go to the Claranet PT website, fill out a request form, find it, and fill it out with some information. So, and it does just that. It navigates through the website, looks for a form, fills in the information by matching the fields and whatever the information we gave it, solves the CAPTCHAs, and goes on, so acting like if it was a human. So back to the timeline again. First decision against data, against AI, if you want, was the browser choice back in '97. And then we decided to invest in applications, and that was a big investment at the time, using data, but also complementing with other information that was difficult to feed to an AI agent. And then we moved into artificial intelligence by looking first internally and then looking to our customers. And what are our customers doing at the moment with us? Let me give you a few examples of AI-powered agents that again complements the human activity and lets humans focus on taking decisions, taking risks, and deciding. Of course. So Jan is part of the future as well. So industry and utilities, we have embedded an AI customer support agent into the Microsoft Dynamics CRM system of an utility customer, so to interact with its own customers and its own staff and enriching the CRM system. A law firm, I've got two examples here, a law firm hires lawyers all the time. So we basically have made an associate lawyer, which is an AI agent, that is now helping them write contracts or analyze contracts the same way an associate would do, because it knows the law and it learns all the time with the knowledge inside the law firm. We've also integrated into the workflow a co-pilot agent so that during their workflow, they can also take better decisions and more informed decisions by adopting, in this case, Microsoft Copilot. With a telco company, we have an AI data governance catalog agent, so basically an agent that helps the utility, the telco in this case, to manage their own information, access rights, who can get what. So it's just not a table with permissions, it's an intelligent agent acting on behalf of them. And there's many more examples. Healthcare. I'm now living in Brazil for a year, although of course I'm Portuguese and the CEO of Claranet Portugal. And I can tell you that, for example, healthcare service, I'm not comparing the healthcare service, but the relationship with customers when scheduling exams, when scheduling appointments, is way much better in Brazil than it is in Portugal. Way much better. Because of what? Because of AI agents. I can now, through WhatsApp, for example, or sometimes even on a phone call, speak or text to an agent and get an appointment with the exact doctor I want, in the time I want, whenever he's free, of course, without having to ring a phone, wait for someone to answer me 10 minutes down the line, and then having difficulties because the system is slow or whatever, which is the experience that I have here in the best hospitals in Portugal. So there's a lot we can also do here in terms of human interaction and the integration with information systems, and in healthcare is particularly sensitive. So hospitality and retail, there's so many examples. So are you using the full potential of AI to shape the future? It shows decisions, but don't forget that we are the only ones to make the strategic choices. We have the free will. We decide to take risks. We, the humans, can use AI to complement what we do and to shape our future. So don't forget the human factor in every decision. Thank you very much.